Well, hey there everyone, I'm Kaye here on my homestead, and you are seeing this angle of my house for the first time. I finally got my island cleaned off, and I got new stools made. The boxes sat in my garage for a month, and I thought, oh, maybe when I go away I can get my neighbor Kip to put them together. But he's a very busy guy. I guess about 3 weeks ago, I don't know, 4 weeks ago, I put them together one night, and it was very easy. And so I am so happy that just this is actually usable. You know, when you pile up your counters, they're unusable. You walk in the door with more stuff, there's no place to set it down, especially when your table is full of seeds. So today I'm going to share a few things with you, and of course this is Valentine's Day, my birthday, and I'm a Valentine baby, and I wanted to share with you, if you see this Be Mine here, when we were going through my mother's stuff, there wasn't a whole lot left, but you know, when she moved into this facility, they had little things, I don't know where she got these, but no, you know what? She got these when she first went into her apartment after she sold her house. And she had them in this box. And that's her handwriting, door plaques. And so that is the door plaque for today. And the next one she would have in here would be Easter. And there's a snowman and a jack-o'-lantern. There's one for Thanksgiving, Turkey Day. And like I said, these look old, they look worn. I don't know where she got them. This is for April showers. Wow. She, of course, had them labeled. This is for May. Sunflower with a bee. You know, we love those. And what else? This is the Valley School. And this is doesn't say what that's for. And the snowman and so forth. So, you know, I could have just chucked this along with a lot of other stuff we got rid of, but I thought it's cheerful. Why not use it, right? Okay. So where should we begin? We're going to wind up doing seedlings, okay? I want to talk to you about what it's time to do with the onion seedlings and all of that, but I thought I would share a few odds and ends first, and I hope you'll stay with me the whole time. Where shall we start? Okay, this might be easier. We'll just work around this way. I wanted to show you, you know, I have, and each one of these I'll share the video, but I wanted to show you the status of my vanilla extract. So this was the first one I made in the video. And then I bought a lot of beans. Well, after the first one, I bought more beans. And, well, I guess we can just put it right back there. I bought more beans after the first video, and so I put them in a larger, I have 2 of these. So this is the status. As you can see, it's not that far along. Of course, this was only November. So we've got about at least 4 months to go. But there's your vanilla extract. Extracting away. Okay, so since it's my birthday, I'll just tell you a little bit about my trip. I went over to see my new granddaughter, who is 5 weeks old. My first time seeing her. She's adorable. I think every newborn baby is adorable. You know, I guess the first 3 months you can still call it a newborn. And she was so sweet. And I got lots of cuddle time with her. And so while I was there, my daughter-in-law, she doesn't like tallow lotion, so I she offered to give me this tallow lotion that she got from, well, my son works for a meat company, regenerative meat company, and so I'm not sure if she got it through that, but she gave it to me, and I tried it for the first time last night. I tried it earlier in the evening, and then when I went to bed, I put castor oil right here. This is the area of the face. You know, you may think, oh goodness, especially if you're a woman. Men can wear wrinkles better than women, you know. Anyway, you can still look rugged and handsome with a lot of wrinkles on your face, but women, you know. I had a facialist and a dermatologist in LA. And one time I asked her, what can I do about this? And she said, this area is very thin, and I never wanted to use Botox like everybody was doing, or get, well, it's just too expensive to consider, but facelifts or anything like that. And so she was saying, I said, well, what about fillers here? Or, how can you plump up this? She said, well, the skin is just very thin here, and it's really hard to do much about, and you start putting filler in your face. You've seen the horror show pictures, and you don't want to do that. You want to age naturally. But hey, if we can have a little help with tallow cream, well, this is lotion, or castor oil, or other wonderful products for the face, why not? So that's what I'm doing. We're talking about my birthday. So these beautiful flowers that you saw in the opening shot, and you also saw them in a picture. You may have seen them in a picture on my community page. They were looking pretty wilted. So as soon as I got here, I got a different vase. This vase was also a birthday gift 2 years ago with red roses in it, and which I dried and kept sitting on. They were sitting for 2 years. I cleaned out the vase and put the dried flowers back in it, but I finally just chucked them, put them in the compost. And these I'm debating on whether to go ahead and turn them upside down while they still look okay, some of them, and dry them, because I dried a few flowers from my mother's funeral, and they're hanging from the chandelier over there. I got the beautiful flowers from my son. We had a great time. He cooked, she cooked, we all cooked. I didn't cook. I left a day early because of the rain that was projected for this week. Now, it's just barely, I don't even think the street's wet right now, so I just thought I'd be driving. I did drive home in very poor visibility, which I hate. I hate low visibility, and once you get on the interstate with all the trucks and everything, and I wasn't going to go as fast as the semis were going. I'm in a Prius, but you just get blinded. So it was tense. But I had a wonderful visit. I came from there and I went to Spring City to Renee and her husband's house, and she's a gourmet cook, but he doesn't like vegetables, and he's a self-described plain eater. And so we were devouring this beautiful meal, and I'm going to share all the pictures and the recipes of my birthday meal on my website, and I will be sharing that link on my channel. So that's not done yet. She has sent me the recipes. I need to compile all that and post it, and I have the pictures, so you'll get to see the meal, and if you're interested, you can read the recipes and try them. Very simple stuff, except for the cake. She made a cake that matches my outfit. It's crazy. She asked me what kind of cake what is your favorite cake? And I thought, I don't know if I have a favorite, but I thought for Valentine's Day, what would be better than a fresh organic strawberry cake. And so that's what she made me. Just FYI, did you know that strawberries, celery, and red apples, and I forget, there's 4 of the top most chemicals are put on in growing, and it's red apples, celery, and strawberries. So if you don't buy organic, you're getting a mouthful of chemicals, trust me. She sent her husband to the store, and they FaceTimed and picked me out this Gerber daisy. Now, I used to buy Gerber daisies as cut flowers a lot in California. Back in the day when I could afford to shell out money for cut flowers, I did that. I'm hoping that this keeps growing and producing, and that would just be so exciting. She also gave me this lemon garlic vinaigrette, and this is so good, and I'll be sharing that on the blog post. This is very interesting. This is supposed to be good for arthritis, and it is, I guess these look like they were white raisins in gin, just sort of like it's just preserved in gin, and you don't have to refrigerate it. I tried it, and you just take a spoonful of the raisins with the gin, and you try it like 1 or 2 spoonfuls a day for arthritis. And this was something that she heard about from her neighbors, and someone else, one of her other neighbors, saw it, and they were saying, oh, you're doing that thing for arthritis. So I guess people know about it. I didn't. And I've never drunk gin. It does have a strong flavor. Okay, and so she sent me home with a lot of leftovers, which I've already eaten except for, let's see, 1 last piece of birthday cake. That's it. The meal was delicious, and she was saying, I never cook like this. I'm so glad you're here. And she had made this amazing meal. Now, if you saw my community page yesterday, we're now calling it just posts. It used to say community on the tab from the homepage. It used to say about, videos, shorts, playlists, and posts. That's what it says now. It used to say playlist community. So I refer to it and continue to refer to it as my community page because you are my community. Okay, so she fell yesterday, and she FaceTimed me, and she had a cut over this bone here, just at the beginning of the eyebrow. And then there was a Band-Aid here, so I couldn't tell what the severity of that part was, but this was already swelling. And she was still on the floor. And I called for prayers, and her husband prayed over her. And she said if she healed, it would be all to the glory of God. And apparently she's okay. So she did not go and get a scan. And I am mindful of the many people that wrote and said, go get a scan, go get a scan. I know. You're always taking a risk if you don't. But she didn't, and she seems to be okay. No symptoms of concussion. So thank God for that. Okay, so while we're talking about beef tallow, I don't think I mentioned this when I came back from Idaho in December. All the things that Teresa sent me home with, I don't think I mentioned. She is now, in addition to everything else, making tallow soap. Oh man, I wish I could do half of what she's doing, but this is beautiful. She's got a beautiful pattern here. Of course, as soon as you start using it, the pattern goes away. But it actually has a sort of a refreshing grass scent. I don't know what she put in it. I don't remember. Okay, so I've got that and I've got that. We'll talk about the seedlings separately. I wanted to just mention for your prepper cabinet or for your preps. I'm sure everybody already has one of these, but in case you don't, And I'm not going to unwrap it and try to roll it up and get it back in this bag. But this is a 5-gallon plastic water bag shower. And you can, you know, if the water goes out and you have some stored water, you can always have a little bit of a shower by hanging this up outside and taking a shower. And it's a lot better than not having anything. So it's not that expensive. And I've had this sitting on my table. If you can see my coffee table in there. I finally got it cleaned off. It's been piled high for months. And this was under there. And I thought, you know, I never mentioned that. And this is a really great thing to have just in case. So that's that. And I want to mention this and this. And then I'll get to the seedlings. The garlic scapes, this is what's left of the garlic scapes from last June. And these I put in the dehydrator. And I took a few of them and I made this wonderful powder. And it's almost empty. Fancy that. You know, I didn't want to use it all and make a powder that I didn't like. But I love this sprinkled on burgers or roasted vegetables. And it's the, you know, you use your little grinder. What I'll be doing is I'll break these into like 1-inch pieces and just put it through here, or possibly my blender, it depends. And grind it up into powder, and then you use your pink Himalayan or your Celtic sea salt, Redmond real salt, one of those, and put in ground cloves, and you can also grind your own cloves so it's fresher, and then black peppercorns. That's what I did. I ground up in here the red cayenne dried pepper and black peppercorns and cloves. And then I just added the salt and the powdered garlic scapes. And so I am almost out because, I forgot. Don't ever take a whiff with something with red pepper in it and black pepper. Boy, it's good though. Ooh, wow. And that would be great on fish. Oh my goodness, that would be so good on fish. I don't eat a lot of red fish. Today I am wearing Valor. I often share my essential oils. This is a blend that is very, I don't know if you want to say smoky or earthy, or it's not your floral kind of, anyway, it's Valor. It gives you courage. I wanted to show you, and I'll put the link up here again. Remember the giant ironweed video that I did? I saved, even though I only had that one, well, I actually had 2 plants, only 2 plants. It's like a fuzzy thing with a little tiny seed on the end. So it travels in the wind. It's a wild plant. It showed up in my yard. I identified it. Regular ironweed is medicinal, but I couldn't find that the giant ironweed was so much medicinal. But the great thing about giant ironweed, along with the late boneset, same thing for late boneset. Boneset is medicinal, but late boneset is a different plant. It doesn't get the respect it should, because those two are a great pair to spread seeds around your garden or your wild areas or your meadow for the fall when there's nothing else blooming. And it's gorgeous to have the white and the purple, and you can see it in that video. But I sat one day, it's so tedious, I sat one day and I pulled out all the little things of so many flowers, and you can see there's thousands. So I'm going to distribute those around. Okay, I just wanted to point out this. Is this precious? Is this precious? I mean, this was just a gift that was on my front stoop out there, out in front of my porch. Just laying on the ground. It fell out of the tree. There was no seeds. There were no eggs in it. But it's just the most, I'm assuming it's a hummingbird nest. And it's just the most precious thing. And I always want to have that sitting in here to remind me of the brilliance of nature and the creativity and the ability of birds. It just blows you away. Okay, so let's move on to the seedlings. These are the onion seedlings, and I've got the cinnamon out. I refill my cinnamon. I buy cinnamon in bulk, and I highly recommend this because cinnamon, I saw a video the other day, and they were actually putting the cinnamon in their potting mix, in their seed starting mix. I haven't done that. I've sprinkled it on top to prevent that green algae or whatever it is that grows on the top if your seedlings get too wet. It's very hard, you know, when you're growing different things in one seed tray because some come up right away and some take a lot longer. And meanwhile, the ones that come up, you need to be able to adjust and kind of keep all the ones that are about the same size in the same tray. I've done my adjusting over there. I've got 4 trays over there right now. But what I have here is a tray of, and I've just moved this light in. This is an office light, but I thought this is perfect for this tray. But this is how I'm growing the onions, and I'll put that link right up here, how I did it last time. There were so many of these red, let's see what they're called, red, I think it's Amposta, yeah, Amposta, that I got from Botanical Interest. And I don't know if it's too late to start seeds now. Depends on your zone. If you've got a colder zone, it might be not too late, but I'm already late with just little seedlings like this. When I ordered the sets from Dixondale, they set a date for my zone for 2/22. They arrived on February 22nd. There's no way these are going to be set out in a week. I had 2 of these that they came up so well. There were so many and they were so crowded. I knew some of them weren't going to make it. And I took 2 of these and made it over 6. So they have more space to grow. And then I also, these are great little scissors to buy. Just these they're very sharp. See? The tips are great for just going in close, you know. And you just want to take a little nip off the top. Sometimes when they're broken, you can go ahead and trim that off. And then the little black seeds, I have a good video on this also. So I'll put that right up there. I used fish fertilizer when I watered them and trimmed them and gave them more space to grow, and so I'm hopeful. I wanted to point out, this is probably in that other video, but just in case you don't happen to watch that, just have a little throwaway chopstick. And when you see them falling over, I mean, you don't want them to grow completely laying over, but if you just push that gently down by the side, it will give it more of an upright, basically you're pushing the root down farther, causing it to stand up better. So at this rate, I'll probably be planting these out, I don't know, end of February, maybe the first week in March. It may be the second week in March. They're so small. I'm hoping for better results this year. Last year I planted over here. Randy's going to come and help me whenever we get some good weather. He's going to come and help me. There's a bunch of holes in the fence over on the side garden, which is 1,200 square feet. There's some spots where there's just not that much soil. And so it just depends on if I can get them, you know, get a row mounded up, and we'll see. So I'm going to have him come over and help me repair the fence. It's a bunch of holes at the bottom. At some point, somebody that was here, maybe with a weed whacker, cut it. I'm not sure, but there's several, and I was thinking I would change out the whole netting, and I'm going, oh, that was such a job. I can't do it by myself anyway. Such a job. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to price out a roll, a 100-foot roll of chicken wire, 3-foot wide chicken wire, and just run a protective layer on top of the deer fence, which is, you know, it's just made out of the plastic, that nylon. And so the weed whacker will just cut straight through that. I did a short video this morning just showing you that I was starting another batch of infused oil for balm. There's jojoba, and the bottom half is dried lavender that I grew, and the top half is lemon verbena. If you can believe, I still have, and I'll put the link right up there, when we prepared that. A woman who used to follow me, I haven't heard from her since I moved, but she drove up from San Diego, and she just said she wanted to help. Several people did that when I was trying to scale down the garden and sell the house. And I want to talk about that in a separate video. But this morning I just poured jojoba oil in here with these two. Normally I would just put this in the window and let it sit there for a couple of weeks at least. But I decided, since I already have 3 jars in there that are ready to be made into balm, they've been infusing for weeks in the window, that I would do this on the candle warmer, and then it's ready, and I can do it all at once. And, you know, you do make quite a bit of mess. Or at least I do. I'm sure there are neat people in the world, but I'm not one. And, you know, when you start making your balm, you've got jars with wax in them, and you know, you've got all your stuff out, your beeswax, your coconut oil, your olive oil, your jojoba oil, whatever you're using, and your essential oils, and you've got to strain your plant material off, use that oil and add those things to it. It's just a mess. And so I thought, let's get the mess over with. Oh, let me show you one more thing real quick. Okay, so if you remember, I made the fire cider. I put it together in a video, but it's been at least a month. Remember how colorful it was in the beginning? It's just all sort of tan now. I'm still stirring it every day, and my neighbor, Natalie, was good enough to stir that and spritz all of my seedlings, as well as feed my cats every day while I was gone. So I hope you come back, and I hope you subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell for notifications, scroll down and click all so you won't miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you to my longtime subscribers for all of your support over all of these years. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. This is black tea. So good. It's cold now. I made it earlier. And it was given, the tea was given to me the last year I was in California by Rosemary and Steve Mildegren.